Do you plan on seeding a brand new lawn this upcoming fall? Do you enjoy doing work for no reason at all? Do you have plenty of time on your hands where you can just do whatever you want whenever you want? Are you rich and overflowing with lots of money? Well, if you answered no to those questions, you're like me. And that's what this video is about. So let's talk about something. What's up, YouTube? It's Mr. Ferguson here. Thanks for coming back to Central North Carolina. Here in my GCI turf type tall fescue / cool blue lawn. Needs a little more seed laid down, so hopefully that's kind of what we're talking about today. The purpose of this video is I'm gearing everything towards fall seeding, fall planting, fall aerating, getting ready for this upcoming fall in the new lawn. For the newbies out there, for those that are like me, this is in year 2, this is in year 3 of planting a premium weed-free seed lawn. That's what I'm trying to gear these videos towards. Advice, things that we need to be thinking about prior to, September, October, and aerating. So the title of this video, was it clickbait? I don't know. You can tell me at the bottom below. But how can we waste all of our money and all of our effort? So let's calculate something here for just a second. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to title this video, but it's something along the lines of how to waste hundreds of dollars at time of seeding or fall seeding, or how not to waste hundreds of dollars at the time of seeding. So let's calculate this. Renting an aerator, that's something me and my neighbor Mr. Kevin are going to do. That costs upwards for a day of around $100. We've got premium GCI turf type fescue seed. That's what I've picked. That's what I'm going with this year. And that bag of seed in there, 45-pound bag, costs roughly around $140. So right there alone, we're up to $240 just to have seed and just to have an aerator for this upcoming fall. Then when we add on top of that all the other things that I believe is necessary that I want to apply to my lawn, which would include starter fert. I'm using the green pop from Next. That's roughly around, let's say, $30. Then we got some people like to use RGS. I being one of those people. I think it does increase germination and makes it allow to come quicker. That's roughly around $30. So there's $60 more right there. So we're somewhere around $300 right now. And then there's tenacity. And then if you have bare areas, you're either going to put down, some people like to put down the hay or straw. Some people enjoy the peat moss. And how many bales of that are you going to need? So you can see quickly that we're talking about, on this one day of hard work we're going to put in to plant our new cool season lawn, that it's adding up to upwards around 300 and some bucks. So to not string anybody along any further, how can we end up wasting all of that money? And from what I hear from everybody and what I fully know to be true is the answer is water. Many of us as DIYers hate to turn on that spigot on the side of our house. It's like liquid gold dripping from the faucet, especially those of us that don't have a well and we're on city water. We're paying for the water and the sewer. And so it adds up, and we like to be a little greedy and stingy, and we may even have spouses that says, honey, please don't turn the water on. You're running our bill up. We can't afford it. And so we like to get stingy on watering our lawn. And I think that's the number one thing. If you would ask some of the lawn care pros out there, it is the fact that homeowners hate to water their lawn and give it the adequate water that is needed. So the short answer to the question is, how can we waste hundreds of dollars in all of these products that we're going to be preparing for this fall to get a premium looking lawn? And the answer is to skimp out on the H2O or the water. Guys, in my professional opinion, which is not much, but I've been doing this for a couple years now, and I will tell you, just like we want to save money, everybody wants to save money. Just as I was talking about in the fungicide video, how I looked at it and was like, I ain't spending money on fungicide. That's just for those rich people that want to have a perfect lawn. I don't see the need for that. And I quickly realized on my own that wasn't something that is really optional. Either you're going to take care of the disease that will pop up in our lawn, or you don't, and it will just tear your lawn apart. And so I quickly learned, okay, That's the reason why these lawn care pros have put this in the lawn care plan. It is necessary to keep our lawn kicking and alive and looking good and healthy throughout the year. So this year, when you're doing all that aerating, when you're putting down your expensive seed, when you are putting down that RGS, when you're putting down that starter fert, when you're laying down the tenacity to try to kill the existing weeds and stop new weeds from coming up, all of that effort can be sort of kind of in vain if you don't do the last step, which is to keep that seed moist and keep it wet for upwards to 5 to 7 to 10 days so that germination process can take effect. Don't be the one not to do this. And it may be a conversation seriously that you need to have with your spouse, with your wife, with your husband. I had to have that conversation with my wife, and this is exactly the way I laid it out to her. I said, honey, I know that you hate it when I go out here and turn on the sprinklers. To her, it's like wasting water, but she understands. My wife likes the plant, so please don't take this as I'm getting on the Miss Ferguson video, but I know this is probably true for many of those DIYers out there, that we don't want to waste. We want to give the grass the water that it needs, but we don't want to go overboard because it begins to come out of our pockets in a very non-fun way. And so I would just strongly encourage you to have that conversation now with your spouse. Honey, for these next 5 to 10 days, I've got to keep this seed wet and moist, or else all of this money we've spent on to have this nice yard is in vain, and we could waste all of it. Now, if it rains, clearly you could say, well, Mr. Ferguson, I've never put out sprinkler and kept the seed wet, and I've had fine success. And maybe that is the case for you, but I believe strongly, and I hear it from Pete, and I hear it from Alan Hain, the lawn care nut, that watering is the most critical thing we can do here, because if not, you're setting yourself up to where germination may not take effect, and a lot of the seed you're laying down could be eaten by the animals, could be washed away, by heavy rain. We want to get that seed germinating just as quickly as possible and get it established. And as we've talked about numerous times on this channel, the whole goal is get it established, drive roots, so that we can prepare all the way into the summertime so that our grass can survive. Before we close out this video, I lastly want to show you guys I've had to do yet another mow. The yard is looking great. As I've said many times, the yard is looking awesome for August. I am not complaining, not near a bit, as they say on the Andy Griffith Show, not near a bit. The lawn is looking great. I did a double cut. I went over these stripes twice yesterday, and I think it looks pretty awesome. So the lawn continues to look great. We had a good half day of rain, man, and that really helped things to liven up a little bit. And even this area that was looking really bad, it brought it back to life. Now I've went and double cut it, but here is, I don't know if you guys can kind of see what we talked about on the GCI review. This section from this stripe over is all GCI Cool Blue completely, and it stripes like no other, where down here I don't think this is the mix of Kentucky 31 and GCI Turf Type Tall Fescue and Cool Blue, and it's just not as, I don't know, not as good, not as solid, not as flat and crispy looking and solid looking striping. It looks good everywhere, but man, it does, the striping on Cool Blue, man, I tell you, if you're planting it this season, you're going to be happy if you have a striping kit. So I wanted to throw that in there, that the yard is still looking great. I did my left to right cut, east to west as I call it, and things are looking good. Did a good trim, and things are looking awesome for August. I'm very pleased with all the potassium, all the things we've pumped into the lawn. It has 100% made a difference. So my lawn's looking good. Just wanted to show you guys this as well. So I hope this video made sense to you. Please don't forget about the water. Be sure and check out my last seeding day, which was 2020, which was when we did the GCI Cool Blue. The last part of the day, it was already dark outside, and the last part of that video, I was saying I'm going to stay out here until I get it all watered and wet. Remember that peat moss can help to retain moisture, so look it up, watch videos on it. I've used it for 2 years in the bare areas I was seeding. It did wonderfully. So this is a shorter video, but it gets the point across, and I don't want to babble and drag it out any longer than it needs to be. Don't forget the water. Water is life. The lawn needs it, and your new seed is going to need it. We want you to be successful. God bless you guys. Hope you've enjoyed this quick Mr. Ferguson video. Things will be getting ramped up here after the month of August, more into September. I'm excited, hope you are too. Subscribe to the channel, check out the GCI Cool Blue review seed. Everybody seems to love that video. I thought it was a great one. I said it to my wife when I was editing it. This is gonna be a good video, and you guys have responded well, and I appreciate it. Hope you guys are doing well. Stay safe, stay cool. We'll see you on the next one on Monday.